This tutorial will help you complete the initial setup stages as an administrator, including the creation of companies, emergency response service providers, and addresses. The first step in the setup process is to create companies. When your Failsafe account was initially set up, there was a company, most likely your company, associated with the account. If you are a single division organization, you will not need to create any additional companies. However, if your organization has multiple entities, product lines, or divisions that operate separately, you must add these entities under the Companies tab to segregate their proprietary data. To create an additional company, click on the Administration tab, followed by the Table Management tab, then select the Company tab. Click Create and enter the company or division name here. Click the green Create button on the right to complete this step and perform the same steps for any additional companies or divisions. For reference, separate companies will be listed in the company pull-down list throughout the Failsafe software system. The next step is to create emergency response service providers. Your company must have an emergency response service provider associated with its profile. This information will print on all shipping documents. When creating addresses, the administrator can assign different emergency response vendors to different stations. Administrators can utilize the address section to create additional locations for internal corporate facilities, vendors, and clients. As part of the initial setup of your company in Failsafe, it is important to create any company facility that may be an operational base for your employees. To begin, you have the option of assigning a vendor to one specific company identified in the drop-down list next to company code. If you prefer that this vendor have no particular association, then you may leave it blank so that it will be available to all listed companies. Next, enter the vendor location code. If you are creating a new address for a vendor that your company ships to regularly, enter the name of the vendor company. If your company has multiple locations that are identified by location codes, enter the location code. This entry is what will display for users in the search for a shipping address in the Create Shipment process. The vendor location name follows. This is the name that will be printed on the shipper's declaration or bill of lading. In this example, Lindbergh Tulsa acts as both the vendor location name and code and is specifically associated with the company Lindbergh. After inputting the address, enter the address type. Administrators can designate if they want a new address to appear exclusively as a ship from or ship to listing in the Create Shipment process. If the address may be used as either, select both. Finally, select an emergency response service provider from the drop-down list. The administrator must have previously created an emergency response service provider to successfully complete creating a new address. This concludes the first administration task. To proceed, see the tutorial entitled Create Users.